Daniel 2:28. It is a God in heaven that reveals secrets and makes known to the king what shall be in the latter days. As it comes to pass defines Nebuchadnezzar's time. He is prophecy to the thoughts and the mind upon a bed. And in verse 29, the hand begins to form as the finger points towards the latter days. The thoughts represent, in Hebrew, a feeding ground formed into this bed of lies and carried through history into the latter days, now to meet the man of fire. And this will be to its undoing. And your ability to exit this bed will be completely based on knowing what Daniel said. In verses 30 through 33, so he becomes the first to separate his wisdom, in verse 30, from that decreed for destruction. And with proper keys it reads like this: But as for me, the hidden thing is not to carry away in shame any wisdom I have attained of life-giving, but its intent, the beast of exile, is to make, in Hebrew, the word defined as a mark. Known means seeing eyes, and interpretations. The Hebrew is to open up. So the beast's intentions is to mark the eyes that have opened up. This is the fire mark of the beast. Above the eyes, the place of thought is upon the forehead, and the fire mark to the hand identifies the thieves that have made men merchandise in this bed. They are reduced to ashes. The designed purpose for the flaming sword is to mark, as the verse 30 ends, that the king might know the thoughts and intentions of your heart. Daniel now turns to the king Nebuchadnezzar to reveal what his life of prophecy represents. Verse 31, You, O king, a prophecy of an increasing number that are deceived by an image of ignorance and are made to wander through intoxication, a great multitude whose brightness was excellent. This is properly stated to define mayflowers that will excel and stand before a king of the latter days, this man of fire, covered by the beast of a frightful image, or as Daniel says, whose form was terrible. These mayflowers are lilies of the field, foreseen by the Father, as hand-picked by this beast. In Luke 12:27 and 28, consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. The answer is by fire. Based on their crowded conditions, it is their only choice. They neither toil, means because of reduced strength, they cannot labor, nor do they spin. You see, their speech was formed by spinning yarns, telling fables, weaving webs. So now they hold their peace and simply listen to the riddle of verse 28. If God so invests by his own sacrifice to good ground of a field that covered itself in grass, that tomorrow, or at the sound of the first angel, was cast into the oven, what more could he have done for you? How much vested interest to move those lilies of limited knowledge that refuse to budge? You were instructed in verse 29 not to seek out your own food and drink. This is the carnal mind. The Hebrew defines the instructions was that they were to dig deep, and there they would find eat, meaning meat, and drink, defined as milk from the breast of the mother, that would have ended this doubtful mind. Verse 30, so for this reason all of these things the nations of the world seek after. And this defines the famine of Amos 8:11. Not a famine of bread or thirst of water, but of hearing of the words of the Lord. In Luke 30 he ends, "And your Father knows you have need of these things." And now this image Daniel begins to bring into focus in verse 32. The image's head is of fine gold. Simply put, Behemoth is a chief refiner. His breast and his arms of silver. His breast is his ability to produce provisions of milk. His arms represent almighty strength. And this is curious. Silver. It draws desire, what all newborns yearn for, food and protection as they exit this womb or belly. And thighs of brass are defined as your upraising. You were lifted by a brass image in the appearance of a man of fire, carried by legs of iron, in verse 33. And his feet part iron and part clay. And notice part was stated twice. In Hebrew, the word means music is in the mix of the feet, defined as the walk. You see, as houses of clay enter this iron kingdom, they will follow a voice that they will be familiar with and listen to music that will lead them to meet this man of brass. His legs of iron in Hebrew is he was the forerunner to the furnace. He entered the fire first to lead the way. And this is the image of your beast. Thank you for listening, and God bless you.